We're now going to look at the action macros and action recorder tools available to us in AutoCAD 2010. What these allow you to do is replicate commands in AutoCAD by way of joining 2 or 3 commands together. It's a bit like content reuse with dynamic blocks. You're creating something and reusing it over and over again. So, first thing I'm going to do here is utilize my sticky panels. I click on the draw panel. I'm going to drag and drop it over here to the top right hand corner of the drawing area, because I will need my draw tools while I'm working with my Manage tab here while I'm creating the macro with the action recorder. Now what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to click on the flyout and pin out my action recorder like so. Now you'll notice I've already recorded an action called lines, and I'm going to replicate that by creating a new one. Now this one here I don't need anymore. I can minimize that. I can also right click there and I can delete it if I want to. So I can delete the macro. Do I want to delete it? Yes, I do. And you'll notice now that the action tree is now blank. So I can add and remove at will if I need to. So let's record our macro now. First thing we do, we hit the record button. That starts the action recorder. Notice the panel now flashes a pink color, letting you know that you're recording. I also get a great big red dot sitting on my crosshair, so I can't miss that I'm recording what I'm doing. I now go over to my draw tools, hence the sticky panel is of use because it's over here on the right hand side for me. I click on the line command and come over here to the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Notice on the action recorder now I've got line. That's my AutoCAD command in my macro. Now the line command is prompting me for the first point of my line. What I need to do here now is I need to go to this icon here, pause for user input. I click there and come down here, and what it's doing now is the macro will pause and let me input the X and Y coordinates of the first point of the line. That's important because if I don't do that, it will just place it at the same X and Y points that I select now on the screen every time. Notice on the command line there, value will be replaced by a request for user input. So I'm going to pick a point about there, left click. Doesn't matter where it is because you can specify that as a user when you run the macro later. I'm now going to drag to the right using my polar tracking and direct distance entry, and I'm going to make that 150 units long, like that. Notice I pressed enter, did not wait for user input on the end of that line. So in the macro it will just draw it 150 long every time. I'm going to go upwards now with the polar tracking, and again direct distance entry there, 100, and enter again. No user input because I want these two lines to stay exactly as they are. The only user input I want is down at the end of the horizontal line there, the bottom left hand end of the horizontal line. So I've drawn my two lines, and what I do now is I press enter to finish the line command. Notice the enter appears in the macro as well. So what I've got now is two lines that will always appear like that, but there will be user input for the left hand end of the horizontal line. So what I need to do now is I need to stop recording. I hit stop here on the panel. It now asks me for the action macro command name. Now I've deleted the previous lines macro, so I can use that name again now, like that, and click on OK. My macro is now recorded, so I can unpin the action recorder there. And what I can do now is I can play this particular macro back. The only one I've got is lines there, as you can see. If I hit play now and come into the drawing area, see the little icon there? It's letting me know that I'm playing a macro. And also you'll notice as well the panel is flashing green to let me know that I'm playing a macro rather than recording one. Specify first point. Now this is where the repetitive task becomes less repetitive. If I select that endpoint snap as my endpoint of that horizontal line, it drops the two lines in for me, and the playback of the action macro is complete. I can untick there not to show that message again if I want to. That's up to you, but I close that, and if I just pan across a little bit now and do the same again, play, and click again here and close again, you can see that a repetitive task is now repeated but in less steps. So the action recorder saves you time, makes you more effective, makes you more productive.